Hello, sixth grade. Today we are going to enter into most of my students' favorite unit, conflict and cooperation. This is going to take us the next 3 weeks. First, we're going to spend this week defining conflict and looking at the different categories of conflict. Next week, we're going to look at how countries resolve conflicts and try to prevent them. Finally, 2 weeks from now, you will choose a historic conflict to analyze. So, all year when you've asked me, when are we going to learn about wars? Here it is. One important thing to learn about conflict is that it comes in all shapes and sizes. This week, we're going to try to define and sort the different types of conflict. So when you do get to analyzing a war of your choice, you can understand why it happened. So let's start with sizes. Conflict can be very small between two people or neighbors or small groups. That's called an individual conflict. It can be within a community though, like how the Ravens are way better than the Steelers. That's called a local conflict because people in Baltimore and Pittsburgh really care about that rivalry. But people who are fans of the Cowboys don't really care about our issues because they have their own. There's also national conflict. That's a conflict that takes place within an entire country. It could be large and violent, like a civil war, or it could be a presidential debate and people deciding who to vote for. Conflict can also be international or between two or more countries. That could be two neighboring countries like Israel and Syria, or it could be multiple countries like in World War I. Now, I'm using a lot of wars as examples, but conflicts can be over other things too. If the United States was to build a factory that let toxic air pollution out, and they built it right on the border to Canada, I imagine they would not be very happy about it, and everyone would have some meetings and draw up contracts, the boring stuff. In general, the larger the conflict, the larger the consequence. If I am having a fight with my neighbor over my recycling blowing into their yard, I can probably solve that by spending some money on a better lid for my trash can. If I'm in an international war though, the consequences could be large-scale suffering, not just for me, but for everyone. Conflicts do not just come in different sizes, they come in different types as well. The main types are social, political, and economic. Some people include environmental as a separate type of conflict, but I sort environmental conflict under economics because natural resources are a big reason people fight, and it's because they need them to survive. So let's start there. Economic conflict is a conflict involving money or items that allow you to attain money, like natural resources. Money causes conflict because people use it to survive. So many people in countries have different opinions on how money should be split up or what things you are and are not allowed to do to get money.
Look at all the money I got from doing chores.
That's my piggy bank!
Finders keepers.
I did all the work!
A political conflict is one that involves the government.
I'm voting for President Trump.
Well, I'm voting for Joe Biden.
That's dumb.
You're dumb.
Did that sound familiar? Government is a really easy one to understand because most wars are fought for political reasons like leadership or territory. This week you'll read about some of those political reasons and tell me why you think they cause conflict. Finally, there are social conflicts. This is a fight for a people reason. Often these are about race, gender, or religion. They involve a fight about personal philosophy.
I'm gonna make tacos for dinner. You want some?
No thanks. I'm a vegetarian.
Well, that's dumb.
Well, you an animal, so you're mean.
Many times, these conflicts are the most personally insulting because it feels like an attack on who you are. This week, we're going to work to understand all of these classifications because large conflicts are not just one cause. Usually, they have a variety of causes that come together to make lasting disagreements between people and nations. Let's take a look at my computer to see what you're going to be doing.
Okay, guys, here is my week 10 folder. You're going to have the same exact thing on your It's Learning page. The first one is the Miss Greenwood introduction video that you are watching right now. The second thing is the link to BrainPop. If it doesn't take you directly to the video, then please type in Falston and Cubs as the username and password, and then you're going to type Wars into the search box. Here is the week 10 assignment, and here's of course where you'll turn it in on Monday by noon, or earlier if you want. Clicking on the week 10 assignment, it looks like this. You can download it to your computer, you can print it out and write on it, or you can just write or type on a separate paper to send me. It doesn't have to be exactly on this. First, you're going to do some vocab, then decide on some synonyms for conflict. Here's where you'll answer some questions about the BrainPop called war. Then we're going to talk about the consequences to conflict. Then you're going to spend the last 3 days, 1 article a day, reading about social conflict, political conflict, and economic conflict. Easy peasy.
Okay, good luck this week. Let me know if you have any questions about what to do, and I will see you next week. Have a fantabulous day.